so much for tuning into our brand new daily show, The Huddle. I'm Britt Johnson, and I'm sure most of you guys have met Miss Sherry Landry.
Hey guys, good to be back.
Well, let's kick off this show by welcoming back the Golden State Warriors to the playoffs. They were gone for a week long because they swept the Trailblazers in the first round, but they are back and looking better than ever. They dominated last night's Game 1 versus the Utah Jazz. Now, what did you think about the game last night?
I think it's a wrap on the series. I think we're going to see another sweep.
Unfortunately, I agree. You know, there was one particular play actually that Steph Curry made against Gobert, and Gobert's like 7 foot something, and Steph Curry's like 6'3". When I saw that, I was like, if Steph Curry's gonna do that on Gobert, I don't know what this team is gonna be able to do in order to win against the Warriors.
I really don't see anybody giving the Warriors competition. I think they're just toying with the competition at this point.
Right. And speaking of competition, actually earlier this week, Draymond Green was compared to Charles Barkley, and he happened to tweet this in response to that, saying, "If I can have half the career, then I think I did pretty well for myself. However, I tried to create my own lane in this league." And of course, last night, Charles Barkley answered back by saying this.
He's probably a better shooter, a better defender. He's clearly not a better scorer, a better rebounder.
Can he guard you?
Come on, man.
I don't know. I was kind of upset with Charles Barkley trying to diss Draymond Green, because Draymond Green is like one of the best defenders in the league right now. And Draymond, I think, was being nice by saying if I had half the career, that would be a great career. And then Charles Barkley goes and disses him.
I think Draymond handled it like a professional. I think that was it was a great response. And I was actually surprised at his response because I thought that he would run his mouth, but kudos to Draymond.
Which he usually does. He usually, runs his mouth a lot, but, Charles Barkley, be a little bit nicer to these young guys, Like, I feel like the old school has been picking on the young guys a lot lately.
They have. I think let them go out there and prove themselves, so.
Right.
Let's talk some Boston Celtics. John Wall scored 40 points and had 13 assists for the Wizards, despite landing on his wrist in the first quarter.
Ouch.
Let's check out the video. But the star of the game was Isaiah Thomas, who had 53 points, which is the most in a playoff game since AI in 2003 when he scored 55 points. It was also his sister's China's birthday. Could you imagine the emotions in that game?
You know what? Ever since he came baback from his sister's funeral on Saturday, he's been playing like an animal,
Lights
like a
out.
beast. It's amazing to see that, and just because you can see how rough he played maybe in the first game, like right when he hurt, and then you just saw the transition of like, now I'm playing for my sister. I remember him saying something about, right after he heard his sister die, he didn't want to play basketball, he just wanted to give up. And now it's been like a whole change. Like
incredible.
Now he's playing for her, which is like pretty awesome.
That post-game interview really brought a tear to my eye. It was really sad. And then considering also he had his tooth knocked out and he spent 6 hours in the dentist chair. Poor guy.
He's just had a rough couple weeks.
Yeah, I definitely say that the playoffs MVP would definitely go to IT4 at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
he's
Washington.
like an animal.
Yeah, I think Washington doesn't even have an answer for him. And
Do
John
you think
Wall
that's
had a
gonna
great
be a
game.
sweep too?
No, I don't. I think Washington is playing good basketball, but if you're looking at John Wall is playing lights out. But if you're looking at the fourth quarter stats and overtime stats of Game 2 yesterday, I think Isaiah Thomas just outplayed John Wall.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Because for John Wall to have 40 points and 13 assists and then their team still not get a victory from it, it was just literally Thomas outplayed him. And I think it's because he had an angel. He has a little angel there playing with him. The sixth woman basically on the court is helping this team out a little bit. So
I think everybody can say that they are rooting for Isaiah Thomas at this point.
Go Celtics.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, my team's out of it now, so I actually did pick the Celtics winning the Eastern Conference, but
as a Lakers fan, I will never say go Celtics, but we can all be IT4 fans.
Yeah, well, one more thing I want to say just right before we wrap up. I know it's a little quick switch to baseball, but did you hear about the Adam Jones situation and the fans with the racial slurs and stuff like that? Last week on our weekend show, actually, we were talking about NBA fans not getting ejected for saying stuff to players. But what do you think of the line being drawn when it's a racial slur like that?
It's very unfortunate, and racism is alive still, and we have to talk about it. It's an uncomfortable topic, but I think the only way we're going to defeat it is if we continue to talk about it, and I do think those fans should be ejected with a lifetime ban.
Right.
That's unacceptable. Yeah. And I loved that the fans gave
that standing
him
ovation was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, that was really classy of you, Boston. So good job.
Nice job,
you know,
guys.
there's a couple bad seeds, but you know,
Don't
as a
ruin
whole,
it.
they're not going to ruin it for you guys. Well, thanks so much for being on here with me today.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. So if you guys want to talk about and put your little 2 cents in on the Celtics game, on the Warriors game, or on the racial slurs that happened with Adam Jones, please do so in our comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and see you tomorrow on our brand new show, The Huddle.